like I said, we've got some terrific reviews, which is great. But there isn't, in my mind, isn't any reason why we should have an off season. We are not at a destination. I say we are a destination, you know? And so the only way I can do this is to let go of my control and trust somebody to work it.
Yes.
And because I'm really tight on that, because Terry and I sit with the guests quite a bit. And if we don't, we're kind of hang at the table and chat with them a bit. And we've gotten pretty good at it, and they love it. They just love it. Mm-hmm. And so I know we can't stop that portion, and that's my favorite part anyhow. Mm-hmm. So if we just commit to doing that portion, we could do this. So I have to get someone that, you know, we can trust, maybe even two people, maybe somebody that would make the breakfast and somebody that would do that part. And then it would be free to do more of the marketing part.
Yes. And free for you to enjoy your guest.
Yes.
That is what Gary and I do. We enjoy our guest, and I work on the business. I couldn't have a coaching business if I didn't. Number one. Okay. Yeah. But it also, it opens up a new door. I'm not going to fib to you, Jan. It's going to be a little scary inside about it. Okay. Right. Because this is your baby.
Right.
You created everything from the ground up. It is your baby. Nobody is going to love it or treat it or take care of it the way that you would. Okay. Yeah. But you can be an amazing overseer. Okay. And you can set things in motion and in practice from the get-go on who you hire.
Yeah.
Okay. What I would recommend is, and write this down, I would recommend you go to Indeed. IND as in dog, E as in elephant, E as in elephant, D as in dog.com.
Okay.
Okay. And that is where I post my ads, is in Indeed.com. Okay. It's an amazing program, Jan, and it's really easy. Okay. You are able to even set up your qualifications. So in other words, my qualifications was they had to have a high school diploma or equivalent. Okay. They had to have a driver's license, and they had to agree to a drug test. Now, did I drug test them? No. But they had to agree to it.
Okay.
Okay. So anybody that didn't meet those criteria didn't come through my email. Okay. And then my second step, once it was up, my second step was going through the people that was interested.
Mm-hmm.
And there is buttons there that you can choose to set up an interview or keep for now or what have you. You'll see how it's all laid out.
Okay.
I narrowed it down to the ones that I wanted to do phone interviews with.
All right.
Okay. Then if they passed my phone interview, then I set them up for an in-person interview. And I would suggest, and I'm just telling you this from my past experience, I would suggest you have your husband sit in on the interviews.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So that who you hire sees you both as a solid team, not where it's just you and then later they try to play the two of you against each other or something like that. Okay? Okay. So on my phone interview, I asked them why they was interested in my ad. I asked them how far they lived from the bed and breakfast. And let's see, I wrote down my questions that I wanted to ask each person on the phone interview.
Okay.
Okay. And you'll pick up real quick, Jan, because I think we pick up quicker in our industry because we deal with the public from all over the world. Okay.
Right.
So on the phone interviews, I could pick up on things. Like one lady said, well, the reason why I applied is because I have 3 kids and I don't have a job right now and I just need to do something to feed my kids.
Yeah.
Okay. Not that I'm not sympathetic that she needs to feed her children. But that didn't resonate well with me. I knew right off the bat on the phone it wouldn't be a good fit.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's much easier to do a phone interview first and weed those out.
Good.
Because we have to always look at our time and how busy we are.
That's
okay.
good.
And then set up the ones that pass the phone interview, then you can set up the face-to-face interview. Always make sure on the face-to-face interview that you get references.
Okay.
Okay. My very first experience, Jan, not knowing, I did go with Indeed because I had another friend of mine who owned a business who recommended me to go through there. Okay. I can't even remember. It was an astronomical amount, like 130 replies.
Wow.
It was huge. Okay. I did no phone interviews and I did go through and get rid of the ones that was like in Tennessee. I'm thinking, Lord have mercy. Why would they drive 2.5 hours to clean a bedroom? Okay. It's just not realistic. But I can't even remember now because this was some time ago, but I want to say I had 10 or 11 interviews. Only one showed up with teeth.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But see, you have to understand the area I'm at. I'm in southern Kentucky, and it's right on the border of Tennessee, and the only industry we have is the charcoal plant. Okay, so it's more of a poor area. I'm up on a mountain. So anywho, if I could find a good, valuable worker in the area I am in, I have no doubt you will.
Can I ask you, not that I need to do it exactly the same, but how did you structure it? Did you say so many hours a day? Did you guarantee him that?
No, and that's the thing too, Jan. First off, I didn't over offer what I couldn't deliver.
Yeah.
And one of the things I can't deliver, Jan, is a guaranteed hours a week. I can't. It's according to reservations. Your hours are according to our reservations. So if you are unable to be flexible and work according to the reservation, then it's not a good fit for you.
Okay, so you didn't go the other extra mile there. Okay, good.
Oh, no.
I didn't know how to handle that.
No, I am not going to guarantee 20 hours a week when, and I'm in a tourist area. So the end of my peak season is the end of November. In the wintertime, I still have guests, but nothing like peak season. Okay.
Yeah.
So there is no way, if I promise somebody 20 hours, they're going to want that in non-peak season too.
Right.
And I can't guarantee that. Every winter we build more, but it is nothing like peak season. Okay. So if you know in your heart that you can't guarantee 20 hours a week, you come out of the gate with, this is the hospitality industry. We work off of reservations. The more reservations we have, the more work you are able to do. It's
Good.
all according to that. What I do with my lady is my reservation, I take my phone and take a picture of the week's reservations, send it to her, and she knows who's coming in and who's leaving. And Jan, she comes, she knows what she's got to do, when it's got to be done for the next person checking in. Like for instance, this morning, this is why I'm up in the B&B. This is the first day since peak season that I have not had somebody here.
Wow.
So, and they're all coming in tomorrow. Okay. So she sent me a text this morning and said, Debbie, I had everything done but the suite. I was going to come today, but nobody's checking in till 4 tomorrow. I'll be coming tomorrow. I don't care. As long as, and I told her in the interviews, you know, I don't want to play at being a parent and parenting somebody.
Right.
This is the job. This is how it works. I expect you to be an adult and deliver, bottom line. Okay. So that is how I did that. Explain to them that it is flexible according to the schedule. You have to be flexible.
Okay.
And it's a weekend job. Jan, don't, by no means, do not fluff anything. Okay. When I say that, I mean, don't try to make the position so desirable that a lot of it isn't reality.
Right. Right.
Do the bare bones, buddy. It's a weekend job. During the week and weekends, it's according to reservation schedule. You work when there's reservations. I also, in my interview, told them that there's last-minute bookings and cancellations at times. I need somebody that if I shoot them a text and say, I need you, you can come.
Yeah.
Because it's the truth, Jan.
Oh, yes.
That happens to us many, many times.
Yes.
I'm blown away that I hadn't last-minute people come in here tonight. And it could still happen, but
right.
I'm enjoying where I'm at. Right.
I know. We have had to block off, well, at least one day. We tried one day a week. Otherwise, there would have been no days off because we've had people continuously, which is amazing.
We've had no days off. We didn't even block any out. It's been 7 days a week. Every summer, Jan, my grandchildren take turns coming down and staying with me. None of them got to come this year.
Yeah.
None of them.
Yeah.
Gary and I, we haven't had one single day off until today. And Jan, we didn't plan nothing because somebody could come in last minute and you don't know.
I know it.
So yeah.
So does your help? Do you have someone do the breakfast then, or do you do that?
Currently, right now, my husband does it.
Oh, bless him.
I know. If he's out on a fishing trip, then I do it. But I'm closing my blinds, Jan, because this is the time the sun comes through. But next season, Jan, I am hiring someone to also do the breakfast.
Because then you could get away.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And my lady, my lady that I have, she's amazing. She has covered, Gary was out on the lake, and it's not going to work here. I'm having to do that again. Gary was on the lake, and I had coaching calls or something was going on. But anyway, the gist of it is she took care of breakfast and checking guests in that day.
Oh, that's good.
So I trained her, and that was kind of like my incentive. This was my incentive, that after 6 months of working for me, and I see that you do a good job and you like being here, and we've built up trust, you then will have the opportunity to be trained to run the place if Gary and I are unable to be here.
Yeah.
And how I do that, Jan, is they get 25%, okay? Meaning, say Gary and I was going to go away for a weekend, and she was going to cover guests for the weekend. She would get 25% of whatever the B&B brought in for the weekend.
That's fair. That's good.
So that is always a nice incentive to give them. I'm gonna try to close this. Hang on. Oh, it's stuck here. There we go. So, oh, now I look real dark. You can't even see my face. That might be good. I really think you are in a place where it would serve you to hire.
From Dropbox. Your Dropbox is full.
Sorry.
So I really do think, Jan, that it would serve you if you really need to hire someone. And I know it's hard to let go of that control. I mean, that was one of my biggest faults. Two of my biggest faults that I've turned to work in a good way for me instead of in a bad way, is control and people pleasing.
Yeah.
Okay. So I had to let go of the control. And they're not going to do it, you know, like I trained her and I came up and I checked, she left, I was checking things and I was making a list of everything I had to, that she didn't do, you know, or that I had to redo because she didn't do it correctly. And then I had to have a meeting with her and sit her down. And I, you know, I had to tell her, and I did it in a story way, explaining to her, you know, how devastating reviews can be for us.
Yes.
In today's day and age, they have a cell phone. They can take a picture and it's all over social media. I mean, yes. It's a no joke deal. So what I learned, my first person I hired, Jan, I mean, hopefully this will save you from the pitfalls that happened to me, okay? The first person I hired, I liked her a lot, and she was a go-getter. She could come in here, and she told me, Debbie, if you need a hole dug, I'll dig it. You need flowers trimmed. You need decks painted. No, it doesn't have to just be cleaning, Debbie. I'll do any. She helped me with my first retreat. She cooked all the food for. She was amazing. I loved her, Jan. And I became her friend. And my mom got real sick, and I had to go north and take care of her. And I was there 3 weeks or 4 weeks. And Kelly knew what had to be done. Long story short, she texted me and said, I see from the schedule I have 2 rooms I have to turn over tomorrow. And I text her back, yes, there's 2 rooms. And she texts me back, well, I want $20 an hour starting immediately or I'm not going.
Wow.
Now, this wasn't somebody who just worked a month for me, Jan. She would come in here and she'd say, Debbie, before I start cleaning, can I talk to you? And she'd sit and cry and tell me about her mom, her boyfriend. You know, my biggest mistake, Jan, is I became her friend.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. So I text her back and said that I don't operate business I don't discuss money over text. That's not the way I operate my business. And that if she wanted to sit down, that we could sit down when I got back and go over her contract and discuss giving her a raise. She texted me back and said, I couldn't believe it, Jan. She texted me back and said, if you don't pay me the $20 an hour, I know you're at your mom's. Gary has fishing trips. You'll be F-U-C-K.
Wow. Wow.
Here my mom is sick. I am 4 hours away from the B&B. Guests coming in, rooms that needed to be done, and she's pinning me in a corner, telling me I had to give her that amount of money.
Wow.
Never once ever came to me saying she wanted more money or that she was unhappy with it.
She had you over a barrel.
She thought she had me over a barrel. And I text her back and I said, I'm sorry that you feel that that's going to happen, but it's not. And I don't expect you to come back.
Yeah.
We're done. And I said, where you've made your mistake, Kelly, is that you think you're irreplaceable. Everybody is replaceable.
Yeah. Wow.
You know, so my girl I have now, it ain't about friendship. I don't care if she likes me, but by God, she respects me.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So it's easy, I think, in our environment, Jan, because what do we do with our guests? We bring them in, we make them feel comfortable, we treat them like friends and family.
Yeah.
Well, I never went through this before, and I was treating her the way I treated my guests, was treating her like a friend and family, and yeah, can't do that.
Wow. Hard lesson.
Yes. Yes. I typed up a contract. It's a subcontracting contract, okay? What you have to tell your person you hire is that they have to do a 1099. Okay, so what that...
So they're subcontract. I'm sorry, our little doggy's barking and I don't
That's
exactly
okay.
know why.
That's okay.
Bella, stop. Bella, stop it. Hi. Oh, come on in. I'll be right with you. I want to coach you. Oh, do you want to just take do you want to get your luggage? That'd be great. Okay, yeah. All right, sorry. You won't go anywhere. Okay. The guests that said they'd be here at 7 o'clock tonight just got here.
Oh, see, I go through that too. We know that. So quickly, you don't want to pay, you can if you want, but I don't choose to take out taxes and all of that.
Right. No, I don't want to do any of that if I can help.
Okay, so they need to do a 1099.
Okay.
Okay, so when you get ready to hire someone, I will send you over a copy of the contract I use.
Okay, that'd be great.
I get it from legal.com, I do believe.
LegalZoom, yeah.
Yeah. And it's a template and you just fill it in. You fill everything in, that they're a subcontract. It just takes you from screen to screen. It's so simple. And then you print it out at the end. And you take a copy of their driver's license.
Okay.
And you have them sign the subcontract that you had printed out. In that contract, it'll have the amount you're paying them per hour. I don't know what your area is, but I pay my girl $11 an hour.
Yeah. I've paid $10.50, I've paid $12, I've paid $15, $18 for somebody that was amazing, but of course she went on to better things, you know, because of that.
Yeah. So, yeah. So you have hired before?
I've had 4 people work here. And I worked alongside of them. I